Welcome to another edition of the Living Large Cedar Podcast. I'm Billy Santiago, along with my good friend of 36 years, Gary Rodriguez, our super producer, Noe Ayala. Reach out to us at livinglargecedar@gmail.com. We're available on the platforms Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and the iHeart Podcast Network. If you want to become a sponsor of this fine show, reach out to us, our super producer, Noe, at 956-451-1633.
Any time of the day, call him up.
Anytime.
If you got money,
3 in the morning, hey, Noe will be there for you.
Hey, when we
text me,
when we
please.
are looking for sponsors, I want to make sure that you understand. If you are one of our sponsors and you build homes, you're the only home builder we're going to use.
That's right.
If you sell cars, you're the only car sales people that we're going to use. There's a little exclusivity there. It's very affordable. All you got to do is work it through us, and what we want to do is make sure that you succeed, and we give you your best chance for success.
Once again, 956-451-1633. Rate our podcast, share with a friend, leave us a comment, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button.
I don't know if today's show can be called Guys Only. Hopefully, the ladies listening. Hopefully the ladies listening can get an angle on what we're talking about. And we have a very, very special guest, a dear friend of mine from years ago. And we're going to be talking with Oscar Enriquez. He is the CEO of Ultimate Warrior Fighting Promotions. Oscar, welcome into the Living Large Theater.
Yes.
You're in the theater, admission's free. All you need is a sense of humor and a thirst for entertainment. And I guarantee
and I got that. That's for sure.
There
much
you
stuff
go.
that's happened to me. Yeah.
So Oscar is a Rio Grande Valley native who just never seems to sit still. He does a lot of things. He does real estate. He does real estate
taxes.
He can help you lower your taxes.
That's right.
And he can also help you learn the art of real estate. And would you agree with me, Oscar, that real estate selling is an art? Because
Yes,
if it was
absolutely.
if it was a science, everybody
would do it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do have licenses, but again, it's an art.
Well,
That's
we've
for
had
sure.
Jamie Lee Gonzalez, and to our knowledge, it may be disputed in some circles, but we think he's probably the most successful real estate person here in the Valley. I think when we did him a couple of years ago, the year before that, he had sold $67 million worth
he was
of
like
property.
the top realtor.
Top realtor.
Actually, it was the beginning of the year, our first show at the beginning of the year.
Good.
Yeah.
So, we had him in here. We talked, and he shared some of the insight with us. But what are your thoughts on real estate right now?
Commercial, and now that Trump's in office or the elect, I think that's going to help everything because we're ready for a change.
Yeah.
And I think the business world, I love it. It's going to be due. I have subdivision. I'm also a developer.
Yeah.
And we just got our commercial subdivision right outside the bridge of Progresso.
Oh,
in
congratulations.
West Lookout. Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
We just got it recorded. Actually sold 5 lots, and they're all commercial, 1 acre lots.
Yeah.
And it's there.
What are you looking for?
Commercial.
Yeah, the Casa de Cambios or...
Again, you can put warehouses because they just opened up the commercial lanes in Progresso, so it's huge. As a matter of fact, the reason why people don't hear a lot about it because it is privately owned.
Okay.
Most of the bridges are owned by cities, as you know.
Yeah.
But this one
It's
is owned
private.
by the Sparks family.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And because of that, it doesn't get the notoriety, but guess what? It's probably one of the best bridges. It's the only place where I go. It's one street. I'm sure everybody's been to Progresso.
Oh,
Restaurants are there. They opened the commercial lane. So right when you come in, they have their own truck lane. And I'm going to tell you, it's open, and you should see what's going on over there. And we happen to be the first commercial subdivision because Progresso Lakes just incorporated it about 2 years ago. So we were actually the first commercial subdivision in the city of Progresso Lakes.
Let's bring it home. Progresso is one of like 5 or 6 international bridges here in the valley,
That is
right?
correct.
and it is privately owned, which gives them a little more wiggle room on how to deal with guys like Oscar Enriquez. And by the way, you're the brother of a very good friend of mine, Lupe Enriquez.
Oh, everybody knows my brother.
And the brother of Jaime Enriquez, a very successful construction guy here. And we just want to acknowledge that the Enriquez family, this vein of it is very productive, very successful, and very open to new ideas and new businesses.
So when you put up this Progresso commercial development, do you get the tenants to come in as well, or you just build and?
No, I develop. It was 14 acres of raw land. I turned around and hired an engineering company. They put in the streets, the infrastructures.
Oh, nice.
And then we develop it, and we go through a process that takes about 6 to 8 months. And once you do that, you get the plans, and then you start bringing in the water, the sewer, the electricity.
Yeah, all the infrastructure.
All the infrastructure.
Now,
and the
was
streets.
Progresso City helpful to you, or did they get in the way?
Not Progresso City. It's Progresso Lakes.
Okay, so are they helpful to you?
Man, they're awesome.
That is good. That is good.
They're. It's a very small city. I think the population is like 300, and I might not be saying that right, but it's between 200
but
to 500.
But they're helpful to you.
Oh, my God. They've been awesome. They got a planning department, and they're going to be pro-business. And, again, since I'm the first one and the bridge is opening up, they want that commerce, and they want warehouses and stuff like that. They don't want used cars. If you remember back, because I was on the bridge board of FAR. You remember?
Yeah. Of course.
When Gary Rodriguez was the voice of the city of FAR.
You were on the bridge board.
That's right.
With
Jimmy Garza. There was a whole bunch of Chemo Palacios. So being that.
It gave you some insight?
Yes, big time. And I'm excited because, again, we put 5 lots on that they're at the title company. We close, God willing, in January, and I got 7 left.
There you
go. So that's going to spark things up, and it's going to be exciting, man.
Well, before we start talking about your January 31st event and what we're going to do getting to January 31st, 2025, Noe, our producer, rates where all of our listeners are. We know we have listeners in Florida. I'm hoping one of those listeners is Donald J. Trump, the president-elect.
I love that, man.
If you had 30 seconds to chat in the ear of President-elect Donald J. Trump, subject to what he can do to help businesses as soon as he hits the floor running on January 20th, what would you say to him about the economy?
No, I would say build the fucking wall, finish it.
There you go.
That's what I would say.
So that's important.
Yes, it is. I mean, didn't you hear the historic deal with Starr County?
Yeah.
Going 57%
red.
Red.
Yes.
That's unheard of.
Didn't Hidalgo County go red as well? A certain percentage?
Real close. And one of my closest friends just got elected. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Jaime Tijerina is the new Chief Justice of the 13th Court of Appeal.
Hard to do down here.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And
so do you consider that a mandate for the president?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Starr County where, 99.9 Hispanic?
Yes, it is.
Their own people want him to build the wall.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for people coming across. I'm all for
legally.
it. Yes, absolutely. Like all of us did.
Yes.
But hey, we don't have that type of infrastructure to feed. And I'm a veteran.
And they're not vetting them either.
Well,
they're letting criminals across here.
When our veterans are sleeping on the streets,
thank you for your service,
that,
Oscar. Marines.
Marines. Hoorah.
Brother.
And I'm going to tell you something. It angers me when we can't help our own people and our own veterans, and we're sitting here catering to them. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. So thank you, President-elect Trump.
Amen.
And he's putting that cabinet together.
Fast,
and man,
lightning speed, and good choices.
You know why? Because he wants to be ready to go.
He has
on
to.
January 1st.
He learned from his last time as president that he had people kneecapping him behind the back.
He's my kind of guy.
We're talking with Oscar Enriquez, CEO of Ultimate Warrior Fighting Promotions. We do need to mention our sponsors that we're very lucky to have. We have White Sands Marina, Port Isabel, Texas. They have a beautiful renovated hotel. They have a great restaurant, and they have a beautiful bar. And it is run by a couple of veterans themselves, Arnold Flores and his wife, Corina. And they have fishing there. They have fishing captains. If you want to go out and catch your limit, just go there, hail a captain, get on the boat, go out into the bay or into the waters of the ocean, do your fishing, and then come back to White Sands Marina Bar, have lunch, and then have a drink. And we love our sponsors, White Sands Marina. Also, Ward Thomas, the owner of Majestic Studios, where we record the Living Large Theater podcast, and, of course, the Texas Sportsman, Fred Rodriguez. Thank you so much. Those are our sponsors of the Living Large Theater podcast. Oscar, we're very pleased that you were able to join us today here in studio. Tell us about your current occupation of getting back into, because we'll preface how I met you as far as the MMA stuff. When I was working for the city of FAR, running the FAR Event Center, you came and you brought Roger Huerta, who is a ex-UFC, but also a native of FAR.
Las Milpas,
yes. And so you brought Roger Huerta in for a fight, and also on the bill was Dave Monet. And Roger fought that guy named War Machine, who was just a badass.
Phenomenal fight. I mean, that's what got me into the game, because Roger, before he became famous, he was from Las Milpas. My wife at the time, Mickey McCarthy, the McCarthy family.
Yeah.
Their brother Mike was friends with him at school, and he was living out of a foster care.
Yeah,
and they would come.
He had a troubled childhood.
Yeah, and he started hanging out with Mike and bringing him home. Next thing you know it, he would stay, and I was living at the house at the McCarthy family's house, and that's when I got to know him. He had to be, I think, 14.
Yeah,
and he just became like my little brother.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was great. It was awesome because we just got a bond. And then he went through high school. He got into wrestling and got a scholarship to Minnesota. And I mean, we were friends.
Do you feel you mentored him a little bit along the way?
No,
Not really.
It was more, I didn't judge him.
Yeah.
Because my background, I had been living on the street. I left my home when I was 14, and I've been gone ever since.
Yeah.
And
so you had a little empathy towards his situation.
And he knew that, and I would talk to him, and that was our bond.
Yeah.
And I was always there for him.
Do you remember the TMZ video of him getting in a fight with the Texas Longhorn?
Man. He called me
linebacker
like 3 days after
that.
On 6th Street. On 6th Street, this huge linebacker that played football for the Texas Longhorns punched out this lady right there on 6th Street in the street right in front of a club, and Roger comes out, and obviously the size difference makes you go like, well, what's going to happen here? The next thing you know, you see that guy, the linebacker, on the ground, bloodied, and Roger's nowhere. He split the scene.
Yeah.
And
I remember talking to him like about 3 or 4 days after, but Roger's the type of guy, he always came to everybody's aid.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who you were, if he didn't know you. He was that kind of guy, man. I love him to death. I love him like he's part of my family. And I remember, and when I saw that, I said, man, that's Roger.
Yeah.
And, people think just because of his height or he's small. Let me tell you, I've been in a few rumbles as a Marine when I was stationed in Japan, and you had a little guy coming in, and he was a Marine too, but recon. But you think, hey, I can
guys are
take
tough,
him.
man.
The next thing you know, I'm on the ground holding his hands, and he's beating the shit out of me. You know, so believe me, never underestimate anybody.
Yeah,
and that big old linebacker, he thought he probably was going to kill Roger.
Guy was 6'2". Roger was what, 5'8"?
5'8".
Yeah, and Roger took him out.
I loved it.
No
man.
time. Yeah.
Well, that's what got him his notoriety. And I would, quick stories when he was on the wrestling. They don't give him money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, he had a scholarship, and the way he got into MMA was, there were some people talking and saying, hey, man, have you gone? Because you're in Minnesota, you got the fields, a farm community. They would go, and there was words that there were some knuckle brawls in farmlands, in barns, and people would go out to fight. And it was just, it wasn't sanctioned or anything. So he heard about it, went out there with some friends, and they watched people fighting.
Yeah.
And it was bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah. He started fighting there?
Well, he just looked at it and he said, man, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so 2 weeks later, and they were getting like $100, $200. And I remember him saying, man, I know I can do that. So he went in and started, and man, it was like a fish. I mean,
That's
he just
crazy,
took off,
man.
and that's what got him into the MMA. And I think someone, if I remember, and it's been a while, if I remember, one of the MMA guys from the UFC was there at one of those kind of fights, bare knuckle, saw him.
Cornfield battles.
Hey, got him and mentor, and that's how he got into the MMA.
That's awesome.
Who was that black guy that was a big YouTube sensation that fought in his backyard?
Oh, Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice.
The late Kimbo Slice.
Yeah. May he rest in peace.
And that's how they started with Jorge Masvidal, too.
That is correct.
Backyard fights.
Yeah.
Bare-knuckled backyard fights.
Yeah, but the thing about Kimbo, man, he had no ground game. So when he got in the UFC, that real quick
different scenario.
It was a difference. He was a stand up, come right at you. But in today's world, jiu-jitsu is because it's ground game.
Yeah,
right. So it's an art form to take you down and then to submit you.
Yeah.
So to stand up, you best have an all-around. That's what I love about MMA. It's an all-around mixed martial art. So you can have street fighting, judo, ground game, wrestler. It's everything wrapped up.
Yeah. Have you been to a Dana White promotion?
Man, I love that guy. God, I try to, everybody goes, hey,
you're our Dana White.
Well, I can only wish for the.
Tell us about your podcast, because I know you're going to have Roger Huerta on it. And we want to promote your podcast as well.
Well, it's not a for sure thing. I would love to.
Well, he's in Phuket, Thailand now, right?
No, he's in the Orient in Malaysia.
Okay.
But he just fought October the 28th. Lost real close
in a decision. Yeah.
I mean, I saw the fight. I think he should have won. It can always go either way.
Yeah.
When it's in the decision, it can go either way.
What's the name of your podcast?
My podcast is Ultimate Warrior Fighting Podcast, and because I mimic, I found a guy. I say Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
His name is Andy Garcia.
Okay.
So. He wanted in. I mean, it's so weird how similar stories. My son is an actor and graduated from North Texas.
Nice. Congratulations.
And he's in L.A. And he is actor, director, and he also, ready for this, he is the pickleball pro at Beverly Hills Country Club.
Wait.
Oh, nice.
A pickleball pro.
There you go,
So people go to him to get pickleball lessons?
Yes.
What's his name?
Julian Enriquez.
All right, send him our best and tell him we
Wow.
admire him already.
And he acts but he had a friend that they went to school together, and he called me, hey, Dad, I got Andy. You remember Andy? He was in drama, great guy. He said, man, wants in with you so bad. And
that is awesome,
and we started talking, and I put him on a spot.
Yeah.
And I brought him to my office. He's never been to my office. He didn't even know I had a little studio. We had not started our podcast. We were getting it built, and we had it. My engineer was there. And so he came and started talking to me, and I says, hey, I'm going to tell you something. What would you think if I say we go next door and I have a little studio, and I want to see how you are on
the mic.
On the mic.
Yeah.
And
Andy's a local kid.
Yes, he
teaches. He went to UTRGV.
He went to Edinburgh Vella. Went to college.
You
know him.
Yes, he worked for me at iHeartRadio.
Yes,
his name was Andy Swag.
Yes,
that's a great kid, man.
And is he not Joe Rogan? Oh my God!
I told him, man. I says you need to follow your dream to become an actor. You know,
well, he teaches drama at one of the idea.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
Well, I put him on a spot, and most people, look, if you're good and someone puts you on the spot, they're going to say, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, I don't have no material. They don't say nothing. I said, would
you
do it right now? He says, yeah.
Of course.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we took him in there. I said, hey, you say whatever you want to say. And he did it. And I said, came back, and I said, you're hired.
Yeah.
I said, and then I said, and I don't know if I know we're on the air, but I said, I have no money.
Yeah.
I says, first event, you know how it is.
That's how Joe Rogan
Joe Rogan
started.
did the first 11 fights.
And then he says, I just want to be part of it, and we can. Well, I said, if this thing takes
Andy
off,
Swag.
it's
Joe
gonna be
Rogan
great.
did the first 11 fights with
That's
Dana
right.
White for free.
Yeah.
Let me bring Noe in here. Noe, you had contact a few years ago with Ken Shamrock, also an MMA professional. What was your experience with him?
Well, for one, I don't know if any of your fighters have ever told you about a story that anywhere they go and they know who they are, there's some dummy that wants to challenge them. And
happens a lot.
We had it with Ken Shamrock. We took him out one night, and we had this couple guys say, I'll kill him, I'll do this. I was like, man, this guy has gone into bare knuckle fights. You think he's gonna let you. Long story short, and Ken was like, dude, are they serious? And he's like, no, man, we'll get him out of here. They actually kicked him out, but it was like, and I tell people all the time, don't ever challenge a guy that has cauliflower ears or anything like that, because they'll break your head. I mean, don't challenge him. A regular Joe. I mean, don't do it.
And if you remember, I think this happened a few months ago. There was a big incident with a fighter. He was just minding in his own business. He was coming out of a bar or something, and
I remember that.
It was, and I forgot the fighter's name, and the guy I picked a fight on him, and he tried telling him, and the guy just didn't, and boom,
they're out there.
Oh, he was on the ground in a matter of seconds.
They're out there.
I mean,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, and look at the ears.
Yeah.
You best walk away. You better shake his hand, buy him a beer, buy him a drink, and say, I am so sorry.
Don't fuck with him.
I am so sorry.
Hey, we're talking with Oscar Enriquez. He is the CEO of Ultimate Warrior Fighting Promotions. We do want to thank our sponsors again, White Sands Marina, Ward Thomas and Majestic Studios, as well as the Texas sportsman Fred Rodriguez. Now, January 31st, 2025, you have a big smoking event coming up here at the Payne Arena in Hidalgo, Texas. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we had a press conference yesterday. I had my main event is DJ TNT Fuentes and Chris the Enigma Pachero is going to be fighting on the main card. These guys, they're 155ers. They've been around. They both fought for me in my 6 fights in the past.
Okay.
And actually, DJ was on the same card
with Roger.
With Roger, fought Nick the Golds Gonzalez in that epic, the one with the hemoglobin.
Yeah,
you remember? And they had to stop it.
Yeah, bad eye.
Oh, it was fantastic. And if it wasn't that War Machine beat Roger that night, they would have won Fight of the Night.
Yeah.
Because we give Fight of the Night. I always, at the last minute, we'll go back where the referee is giving the thing, and I'll put all the pros together, and I'll say, okay, guys, I'm going to put up $2,000 cash money for the fight of the night.
Wow.
And these guys don't make a lot of money.
Who got in that night? War Machine?
I had to get. I mean, he wasn't expected to win.
No, he wasn't.
Well, Billy will put another 2,000, right, Billy?
Oh, yeah.
No, Roger was expected to win that.
He was. I mean, Roger was.
We all thought he was.
Well, yes. I'm not going to lie.
War Machine had some pent-up emotion that he just let out on Roger.
Listen, man. These guys are professional. They both respect each other. And
so there was no bad blood between them. Oh,
and let me tell you, all fighters, I'm going to tell you, they're probably, before battle, they of course they're going to go to battle because they're fighting with each other. But right afterwards, man, they are concerned. They'll hug each other.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Hey, man, it's a brotherhood that's what I love about MMA.
So did that happen after War Machine beat Roger?
Absolutely. Roger came up to man. Roger's a pro and he's a good guy, and so is War Machine.
So in any fight, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose.
That's right.
And that night, it happened to be Roger that took the loss.
Yeah.
And War Machine took the victory.
Right. So,
and then went to prison.
Yeah, well, not quite, but I love these guys and I protect them, man. So I'm going to tell you something. DJ's fighting Chris. Chris was in my tournament of Warriors, made it to the second round, and lost in the second round fighting another great fighter in the Bank Center. So these guys have history with me. So I brought them back into the game, and I wanted, when I first got back into it, I said to myself, you know what? I got to bring that main card where it's that, they're just going to battle it out. And they both are 38. They both have similar records. They both have lost their last two fights, and they got something to prove. So they're coming in.
Yeah.
They faced each other yesterday.
The face-off?
That's right. And the other thing, not only did I get my MMA promoter's license, but I did get my amateur license that I didn't have before, Gary.
Yeah.
So now it's about to get approved. I've already went through all the motion, the bond.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
And since amateurs do not get paid, what I had to do was start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And my nonprofit, because of my background and Rogers and most of the fighters, I started a nonprofit called Warriors Kids Empowerment.
There you go.
And what that does is help underprivileged kids and teens from being bullied and teaching them MMA.
Yeah, with discipline.
Yes, absolutely. And let me tell you, mixed martial arts, when you have kids that are trouble and they feel like they can't, MMA is a way they can defend themselves.
Yeah.
And when you can defend yourself, believe it or not, it helps you stay in line.
Oh, yeah.
It helps you at school.
That's
you
right.
You start knowing because it
gives you confidence.
That's right.
It gives you confidence.
If you're going through depression as well.
Man.
A lot.
You would be amazed.
Yeah.
And I've seen them. I've seen kids that are troubled. They get in there, start boxing or MMA.
And they learn the discipline.
Oh, my God. And then they're different people.
Yeah.
They're different kids afterwards.
They're not out there looking for fights.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oscar,
before, they may have.
Do you have a training gym?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned, man, this is like meant to be. You're just giving me all these props. Thank you, yes. Actually, I just signed a 5-year deal with my brother, Gilbert, which he's another amazing Enriquez.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah,
I know Jaime and Lupe and you.
Yeah, my brother Gilbert runs the family business. My dad passed away.
Gilbert.
Yeah, passed away last year.
Our condolences.
Thank you. And Gilbert is the CEO, and he's amazing, man. He's the youngest, and he has his shit together.
Wow.
And I look up to him, and I know
he's the youngest.
He's the youngest, and I look up to him because as you can imagine, there's always conflicts, and I love my brother. I love all my brothers, but Gilbert has a little soft spot.
That is awesome. Hey, let us sell some some VIP tables for you right now for your January 31st event. It happens at the Payne Arena in Hidalgo, Texas. Break it down what you're charging for GA and reserved and VIP.
Man, thank you, Gary. Yesterday when we announced and we had that press conference, I had a lot of difficulty with my staff because I wanted to do something because the last 2 fights I've gone to, ticket prices were $53, $55 for one person.
Yeah.
And they were GA.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted it to be in an arena. So I said to my staff, they said, I'm crazy, but I did it anyway. Tickets are $10 and $20
Awesome.
tickets. And
Those
that's
are GA.
plus the Ticketmaster and the paying arena office. So it's the $10 will probably be $18.
Yeah,
but
with
the
their
$20 is going to be about $30.
But that's not your. That's the fee.
That's the fees, the Ticketmaster, and
at least you're using Ticketmaster, one of the most reputable ticket dispensaries in the world.
And tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Okay.
At noon. And I'm excited.
Tomorrow being Friday, November the 15th.
November the 15th. And they're going to go, listen, that means you could take a family of 4. Under $100, you can get awesome freaking tickets. Who doesn't want to take a whole family? Usually,
what a gesture! What a gesture!
I wanted to do it, and everybody goes, "Hey, but you're not. You know what? Sometimes it's just not about money. It's just about bringing people together.
Yeah.
Watch MMA's been missing, by the way, for the last 7 years. If you remember, I got out in 2013. STFC, which was my competitors, they stopped about 3 years later. And then, so MMA's been missing here for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? About 10 years.
Well, thank you for bringing it back, man.
Well, all the fighters,
making it affordable.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's like 3 or 4 UFC guys right here that have gyms in Far, Weslaco, in Mission, and they're on TV still.
Yeah.
And one of them lives in Far, Carlos Ferrari.
Yeah. Diego too.
Yes. Well, he's Carlos Diego Ferrari. Yeah.
Hey, Oscar, do you think the ESPN coverage of the UFC and all that has really grown the sport more than it was 10 years ago when you got out?
Absolutely.
Will your event be televised?
We are going to be streaming it with Azteca.
Okay.
So they came on board.
But you'd rather have people go see it in person.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to tell you, you can. There's not going to be a bad seat in the house.
Yeah.
We're going to have big giant. If I'm not kidding, I mimic myself to one of the best promotions, which is UFC and Dana White, Joe Rogan, all those.
That's who you model yourself after.
Yes, absolutely.
Give us some information on how to contact you to secure our VIP tables right now.
You can actually, I am putting some on sale with the Ticketmaster.
Okay.
Not all of them, but you can email me at info@uwfpromotions.com.
Okay.
And reach out to, and that goes to about 4 or 5 different people.
Repeat that.
That's
info@uwfpromotions.com.
Real easy.
Awesome.
You know, it's an easy.
We'll put that on our show description for them.
Okay. All right. Well, close us out, Oscar, with an invitation to families to go see this event, and also to plug your nonprofit one more time as we wrap up this episode of the Living Large Theater podcast with our special guest, Oscar Enriquez. And we do want to thank our sponsors once again: White Sands Marina Hotel and Restaurant, Port Isabel, Texas; Ward Thomas, Majestic Studios; and the Texas sportsman, Fred Rodriguez.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you guys for having me here. It's been an honor, and I'm going to invite you to our podcast because I do want to start working with you guys. Listen, January 31st, 2025. $10 tickets, $20 tickets. You got your VIP seats. Ticketmaster's tomorrow, the 15th of November at noon. So if you're going to wait till the end, they're going to be gone.
Are you selling VIP tables or individual tickets?
They're going to be seating in the arena, and then the box office, we give them a certain amount of tables because we already sold half. There's 76 tables, and they're already half gone.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to put...
Congratulations.
That's what I mean. Everybody's hungry for that MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, Friday night fights live right here, and these are professional, and then you're going to get to see amateurs that are about to turn pros. So I can't wait I hope everybody comes out. Again, January 31st, 2025. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, the 15th. Ticketmaster or Hidalgo Payne Arena box office, or reach out to us at info@uwfpromotions.com. Thank you, guys.
Don't miss it, Billy, this time.
Oscar
Please
Enriquez, thank you so much,
I'm taking you
man.
on, man. We're going to be a special edition here, buddy.
We're Living Large Theater Podcast is proud to be a part of this and support you, encourage you, and wish you nothing but success.
Thank you, Oscar, for coming, man.
Thank you,
Living
guys.
Large Theater Podcast. Reach out to us at livinglargetheater@gmail.com. We're available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and the iHeart Podcast Network. Reach out to our super producer, Noe. Knock him out with a call at 956-451-1633. Rate our podcast, share with a friend, leave a comment, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button. Until the next episode, you keep living large because you know we're living large.